Hey Ed, how are you doing? So I see you guys are finally getting some better weather over there in Colorado. Bohica, good evening to you too. Where are you, Bohica? Hey, Isaac. It's about time. I don't know, man. It's hard for us because here in California, our springs start. It's going well, Isaac. California, our springs start in February. So this year we had a lot of rain, and it lasted all the way up till probably the end of May, I think. Bohica, where are you from? Where you live? I'm going to give it a few seconds here, few more minutes, and uh, as I'm notorious, Waco, Texas. Okay, Waco, Texas. That was on the map here a few years back. Well, longer than a few years back. Texas. That's my son Tommy lives over there right now. He just sent me a video. Man, it's really raining where he's at in Texas. He's down there by Sherman.
She's she's west of Dallas, southwest of Dallas.
I don't know anything about Texas. I know I know Dallas. I don't know Dallas. I know where Dallas is because of the Dallas Cowboy football team. I'm a huge football person. I used to be really into it, but I haven't coached in a few years. I'll get back to it someday. I have plenty of time. Yeah, you guys get some really storms like they had to do there in Oklahoma. Where my dad was raised and grew up. My dad was born and raised in Oklahoma, and we lived there as kids. And man, when it thunders and lightnings, it shakes the whole house. It's really, and it rains. So anyway, Regan did a really nice stream today, this afternoon. That was really good. Someday I hope that I'm real good at doing live streams and get a I just started doing live streams just recently, so I don't have too much time. I haven't have much experience in it. I think I'm getting a little bit better. I try to learn how to control my emotions as I'm doing it, because we're talking about my son, that I raised for 27 years. He's in my life for 27 years, and then bang, he's gone. And so, there's a lot of emotions that play out in my mind, and a lot of things that come on in my mind to where I, my emotions just sometimes go all over the place. And I try to keep that with my business and my personal life, and then fighting this fight. It gets rough sometimes, but I've been blessed. But I've been blessed by the Lord, and I'll freely talk about the Lord because that is my only rock. The Lord is my rock. That's where. And you always sleep really good, Boisha. Boika, you always sleep really good when it's a rain. I always did. This afternoon, I must have been pretty tired because this afternoon we went and checked the mail, and you know went and grabbed some lunch, and we came back, and I laid down. And I thought, well, I'm going to take a little nap. About a 2.5 hour nap. I've never taken a 2.5 hour nap, so I must have been pretty tired. It's been a rough week. I've had a lot of things happen this week. This week I had one guy won a job and I had him go with me on a job, and then come to find out that he wasn't really cut out for this type of work. Then I had another person quit on me because I didn't do what they wanted me to do and I did something else. So I left the bag hanging. Then all this whole time, I've been praying that I'd find a person to help me, because the person that helped me was my next door neighbor, Karen. She helped me for a long time. She's a 68-year-old woman. She was out with 2 knee replacements, and she would help me here and there, do some stuff. And it's just too hard on her. It's hard on me. I'm 54. I've been doing this in business for myself since 1989, and we've done a lot of work since 1989. And now my knees hurt sometimes, especially when I'm up and down ladders squatting, because I do irrigation repair and I mow lawns and stuff like that. My knees hurt bad, but I can still stretch. That's what keeps me going, I think, is because when I coach football, I believe in a coach getting out there and working out with the guys, Yeah, I led all the stretches and everything, because guys, they won't stretch. And when you play football, you got to be in shape. And I'm not talking about being in shape, just going to the gym and hitting some weights. Yeah, that's part of being in shape for football. That's just the tip of the iceberg, getting in shape in football. When you play football, you got mass against mass, and you're going at 110% for the whole duration of the game. So if you don't have the cardio and you don't have the heavy, hard hitting, working cardio in, you're going to dwindle out in the first quarter. And guess what? You still have 3 quarters to go. And halftime, you can't recuperate. Halftime, you can catch your breath and get some fluids in you, but it's just a different story. It's like wrestling. If you've ever wrestled, I wrestled when I was a young kid, and I played football when I was young. And those two are totally different than being in shape, just going to the gym, walking on the treadmill, or maybe going for an afternoon run. That's stuff you should do just to loosen up your body and get your lungs pumped and stuff. But whenever you're on a football field and you're playing against guys that are all different weights, and you're going up against people that are bigger than you, you better get in shape. Yeah, you better get in shape. But anyhow, I don't want to try to make this a real long one and drawn out thing. But there are some things that have been bothering me, and my last YT experience, I think it was good, but I lost my emotions in it, and I'm gonna try not to do that tonight. So I just want to be kind of professional about it, somewhat professional. I want to act like I'm a professional, even though I'm not. But anyway, so here's the thing: is you guys all know that's been following me, and I really thank you guys for following me. Thank you. And if you haven't done so, go over and subscribe to Justice for Timmy Henley. My son Tommy, he's running that over there. And then Regan Benson, if you are not subscribed to her, go on hers and subscribe to her and follow her. She does a lot of cool stuff too. She's not all about just Timmy Henley, but she's about different things. And it's all about holding people accountable. Our elected officials and our police officers, holding them accountable, and that's what activism is about. Is letting the public awareness. And I'm just learning this stuff, so I'm not a pro, and I might get a lot of it wrong. And if I do, so get a lawyer and sue me. I really don't care. You can sue me for what? If you want to go beat up lawnmower and a worn out truck, go for it. I don't really care. But anyway, so Timmy Henley, Justice for Timmy Henley. As you guys all know, in fact, I'm going to put this on right now as I talk so that it's on there. And we have more of these badges, so If you guys need them, want to pass them out, we'd like to flood everybody with them. Hey, Regan. Um, so, justice for Timmy and activism, and these are things that I've been learning a lot, is making people accountable for what they do. When they're in a higher up position, okay, let's say me, for example. I'm the owner of the county regulator football team. Okay, so all the coaching comes down on me. That's why I said earlier that I stretch with my guys, and Isaac is one. He'll tell you, he's in here. He'll tell you, yeah, Coach Henley, he gets down on the ground, he stretches with those guys. I don't go running laps, and I don't get out there strap up pads with them guys. That'd be idiotic on my part. They would kill me. I wouldn't be sitting here today. Some of those guys out there who see my pro football weigh 320 pounds, and they're a freaking running back. So they're strong, fast. And then there's some guys that play on the offensive line. We played a team down in Fresno, and I'm not kidding you. They had 2 defensive ends. Their freaking their biceps were as big as my thighs. They were grabbing my guy. He was a pretty good. He probably weighed about 220 pounds at the time. And he was playing on the offensive line, and that guy was just grabbing him with one hand and just flinging him across the field. So it all boils down to it. So, the thing of it is if even in my business, in my lawn care business and stuff, customers, I'm held to a higher standard than my employees. And so I'm held to a higher standard as a football player, as a football owner, coach. I'm responsible for my men. I can't put my men out on the field if they're not prepared to go into battle. Because every football game is a battle. It's a war. And that is a war that doesn't stop for 60 minutes. So we play 12-minute quarters, 15-minute quarters. So yeah, you're roughly around 60 minutes of nonstop football. And if you only have 18, 19 guys on your team, guess what? You're playing both sides of the ball. So you better be in shape. Because if you're not in shape, you're gonna get hurt. Good. Regan's going to work on the discovery drive because, as I mentioned in my last post, Kilmer, Newman, and Lane have agreed to take on this Timmy Henley case, my son Timmy Henley case, and they're going to dig into it further. And so if you have any questions whatsoever, contact them. They are attorneys now. And we haven't officially signed all the paperwork, but it's coming along. And so that was another thing that was a thing this week that I had to deal with. The new guy that come to work for me, he shows up to work on Wednesday, and I had to take that call that came in, and everything just came in just like clockwork, man. It just happened. So I had this man sitting in my vehicle, and he had to hear about it. And I don't run around talking about this stuff in my business. You start mentioning your son being shot by police, burglary suspect, and I'm out doing yards and houses and stuff. You start talking about that with people, and people start dropping off like flies, and that's my bread and butter. So I just don't even talk about it like that. But this guy had to sit through it, but he understood. After I talked to him a little bit, after he heard me talking with David Lane and his firm, Alario, he understood it totally. And you know what? This man did not know Timmy. He saw Timmy. He remembers Timmy's red Jeep being out parked up front. He remembers seeing Timmy and stuff because the guy lives right across the street. And once I told him, just off the tip of the iceberg, right away, he told me, "Wow, dude, that is some messed up shit." He says, I can tell right now I don't even need to read any police reports or anything about what happened because I know your son. I've seen your son, and I know that he's not a drug addict. And that's one thing that I want to address tonight. I want to address that tonight because, for one, number one, you guys have been with me all this time, and I promise I'm not going to get emotional, and I'm going to stay on track. I've been thinking about what I want to say. And so, have a good teacher. But so anyway, and then the Sirius Courier called me, and I told something about that in my last live stream. I reached out to Sirius Courier because they are the paper that remember Isaac when we were doing the regulator football and they came out and they covered us on semi-pro football, and we were going to use that. We tried to use that to get more players in the Turlock area because that's where the Sirius Courier and Turlock Journal are the same paper. And the same editor, the same thing. It's just a different name. So I'd contacted this guy because he had written out. His name was Jeff Benzinger. He had put a post. He'd put a story in the newspaper right around the same time that they had a memorial for Timmy over in the neighborhood in Sirius where we lived at the park, Don Pedro Park. And he showed up out there and started talking to some of Timmy's friends and all that stuff. And then he ran his own little thing in the paper. But what he did was he went on to the Denver Post and he stole their story and he reworded a lot of it and then put it in the Sirius Courier. And it said Central Valley grad shot and killed by Westminster police. And then he goes on and he starts talking about this bogus story. This story that these police officers were trying to get us to buy right off the bat. The story that the police officers told the newspaper there in Colorado right from the get-go. And their story was burglary in progress. They walked in the door of an apartment. They noticed the apartment door a couple inches open. They walk in. They notice another door open. And then out jumps this man with a knife lunging at them, and they shot him to death. They made it sound like then that Timmy was inside of an apartment and they had to shoot him inside the apartment. But then drone pictures or whatever, it had to be drone because they were up in the air, of Timmy's body with the barricade around it laying in the parking lot. Some down a second flight of steps all the way out to a parking lot to where Timmy was laying. So the story with the police officers were saying then to the paper and the pictures from the paper putting it in there, it's a bullshit story. Bullshit story. How could two officers fatally shoot a man inside an apartment? How is that man going to get down 2 flights of steps, 30 feet out to a parking lot and drop dead? So when the drone picture, and I have it on my phone, and I have it, it's you don't see Timmy's body, but you see where they got all their cones to where the police were standing and shooting to where the discharge of the bullets were supposedly landing. And there's one out in the parking lot and there's one up on the grass area. Okay, the area that Timmy was in was probably about a 20 by 20 area, and I wish I had pictures to show you because you could see it. But pictures say a million words. Any crime scene, pictures talk. Crime scenes talk. Okay, anybody who knows any CSI stuff, that the crime scene does not lie. Crime scene does not lie. And so anyway, I'm kind of going over a lot of stuff that we'd already talked about, and I'm trying not to keep your time. I'm trying to not take up your time too much. It's already been 19 minutes, but so so the photo that was there that showed him, and then there's the iron gate, and to get over that iron gate, Timmy would have had to jump over that iron gate and drop some 10 foot. Kind of hard to do when you got bullets flying at you and you got bullets in you. I mean, that would be a hard thing to do. So the only thing for Timmy to do was to come out towards the police officers and then try to get away. because as I've talked about in my last live streams about how it would be uh, human nature, even in animal nature, to somebody's trying to hurt you, you're you're going to try to get away. I don't care how badass you think you are. You know, even one of the baddest football players in the middle. Uh, you take Ray Lewis for an example. Everybody knows Ray Lewis, one of the biggest, baddest linebackers to ever play uh, NFL football. You start shooting a gun at him, he's going to run from you. I don't care. You know, I don't care. You know, he's going to run from you. He's going to try to get to medium ground to where he can defend himself. And that's just a human nature. So do you want to come off and say, "Oh wow, you know, man, this dude was trying to hit a knife in this hand and a knife in this hand. And he's trying." That's all a bunch of bullshit. And so anyway, that's that. Okay, Timmy, my son, was not that person, and he's not the person that Jeff Benzinger put in his newspaper. Jeff Benzinger and I talked on the phone. He called me. He caught me totally off guard. I was busy working, and he totally caught me off guard. And I'm not real good at public speaking, you know, when it comes to talking to people like that, especially about my son. Like I said, Timmy Henley, 27-year-old, my son. You know, you want to talk to me about my son? I'm still grieving, bud. It's been less than a year, and we've had to fight, and we've had to dig, and we've had to come up with all kinds of stories to get to where we are now. And we've gotten the truth, and we've uncovered a lot of stuff. And so for this guy to come up and start asking me, "Hey, what's up, Tommy?" And so for this guy to call me up and start asking me questions and stuff, and then there was one question that he asked me, did I knew Timmy used drugs? Well, he wasn't a drug addict like this guy tries to put him out. And I mentioned to that guy about the discovery, because he asked me, well, how do you know all these things that you're saying? And how do I know? Because September 5th is when I went to work on this. Me and Tommy, we went to September the 5th is when we started figuring out, hey, wait a minute, we're looking at these pictures and we're looking at what these guys are saying. And when we're calling down to the police department, they're telling us it's an ongoing investigation. We can't release any information. Blah, 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 blah. Your son is dead. We killed him, but so what? Wait till we get around to throwing out the final report. It's under investigation. I am so sick of that word. I am so sick of that word. And my whole family is so sick of that word. And all Timmy's friends, everybody who knows Timmy, they're all sick of it. We're all sick of it. I've got friends of Timmy's that's been since kids, and they were like in Pop Horn football, you know, 5-6-year-old growing up with Timmy, hitting me up on Facebook, calling me and saying, man, this is bullshit, man. This is not Timmy. I know it's not Timmy. These guys are trying to make us follow this hook, line, and sinker. And it's just not jiving. So we've been working on this since September, Jeff Benzinger. And I know you'll probably watch this, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, because you hide behind a keyboard. And you can just write whatever you want to write, and that's not true. You're not writing true. You went to the Westminster, let's get correct here. To the Adams and Broomfield County's District Attorney's Office. You went to David Young. See his name right there? You went to David Young's website to where he puts out decision letters, and you read this garbage. How many pages is this? 13 pages of the round file. That's where this needs to go. The one back in the day, just throw it in the round file, the trash. That's all this is garbage. Timmy Henley's shooting, the officer involved shooting of Timmy Henley on September 4th of 2018 set on this dude's desk for 6 to 8 months. There's no way. Read through this. Go to there and read it. There's no way that case was ever investigated. There's no way. None of these facts, what they say are facts, are true. None. None of them. Their witnesses that they interviewed, they can't even get their stories straight. Their cops can't even get their stories straight. You know? And no, Timmy wasn't a drug addict. Timmy had a good job. Probably make more than you, Jeff Benzinger. Yeah, he was moving up in management at Amazon. You can't be in a management at Amazon and climbing the ladder, and not only that, Amazon had moved him to Colorado to open the new Amazon there. You couldn't be a drug addict functioning that well that Amazon's going to say, "Hey, we're going to give you $10,000 to move you from California to there. We're going to let you rent these big semi trucks to haul your cars and all that stuff over there." Okay? So Timmy's not a drug addict. He's a 27-year-old kid, young kid, single, no kids, no nothing, trying to make it in life, you know? And he moves over there. Yeah, he partied. He's a 27-year-old guy. He parties. Had a few drinks. I'm quite sure that you didn't go to some New Year's Eve party or some Christmas party or some birthday party, have a few beers and, you know, maybe smoke a few joints, take a hit off of weed or something like that. Yeah, you probably even did a line of coke. Yeah. That's common. That's common. I don't. But I mean, I don't drink or use, and I haven't done that for years. And, you know, but that's common, bud. It's not a drug addict. And so to get something that's going to make you hallucinate is a whole different story. It's still, like Regan says, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. A drug addict is not a death sentence. And besides that, who gave you, Officer Engelberg and Louis Hempelman, who gave you the right to be judge, jury, and executioner? Who gave you that right? You're a peace officer. P-E-A-C-E, peace officer. So, Jeff Benzinger, if you want the facts like we have, the Discovery Drive, which now we're going to start releasing some of it. Tommy's going to work tonight on it. Regan's going to work tonight. She's going to work on it. We're going to have some facts that's going to blow your socks off, dude. Because we're not in it. We're not just standing around saying, "Oh, yeah, my son's gone. The cops killed him. He was a bad guy. He was a drug addict. And, yeah, he needed to be put down like some wild animal that just came out of the woods, man." No, he was a human being. He was a young human being. And Jeff Benzinger, if you really want to do some homework, start contacting his friends on Facebook. Anybody there in Central Valley High that graduated within the time of Timmy, and start talking to him. Contact Amazon. Talk to his coworkers. They're on his Facebook page. Ask them what kind of person Timmy was before you start going out and slinging crap like you did. That just shows you don't know what you're doing. It shows that you're a bootlicker. That you side with the police. And you're siding with police that you don't even know. Because those police over there in Westminster, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, the police in Denver, Colorado, the police in Colorado, period, they don't operate on the same code as Modesto, Stanislaus County. Okay? So you're siding with people that you don't even know. You might as well just say that you're hanging out with John Dillinger or Billy the Kid. Yeah, I know him. You didn't know him. You don't know those guys. They kill people. They just killed somebody in April, Jeff Benzinger. They just killed an innocent man in Yeah, they just shot him dead. That's what they do there. But you don't understand that because you don't do your job. You're a newspaper editor. You have an authority. What I said, you have an account, and you need to be held accountable to this. You need to be held accountable because you have an account to report the news, the facts. That's why this is called facts or fiction. You need to report what the truth is if you're going to do that. You can talk to Timmy Garcia, that used to be Timmy's head coach there at Central Valley High School, which I am in contact with, and has came up to me on multiple times, which, I went out and helped him coach his football. Yeah, you didn't know that I was the owner of the Regulators. Yeah, I'm the owner of the the county Regulators, Jeff. And you interviewed me about my guys practicing over at Donnelly Park in Turlock. Well, so Tim Garcia is Timmy's coach, and you could talk to him about Timmy Henley, and he'll tell you who Timmy Henley is, and he'll tell you that he's not some drug addict kid that was out burglarizing houses. Burglary should have even been brought up in the fact because even in the discovery drive, and what I'm talking about, Jeff, is the discovery drive that we have that you are not going to get because now after seeing what you did, I wouldn't give you this. Do you see this? This is from the district attorney's office. This is from the case that they didn't. I have never looked at it. I don't need to look at it. I have very good friends that I trust that are going to give me the information I need. Plus, I see what it's done to my son, Timmy's twin brother, Tommy. I've seen what this has done to him. Yeah, Timmy's a twin. And Tommy doesn't a burglar either. He's worked, Nicole, all of my kids, they work. I just posted a thing that popped up I know the Lord gave it to me. Timmy had sent me a Father's Day thing on Facebook here a few years ago, and it's really touching. And every time it pops up, I read it. Because it's my son. He wrote it to me. Talking about he always wanted to be like his dad. He wanted to be just like Dad. Always looked up to me. And, and when he was a kid, I knew that. But when he got older and started hanging around with his friends and all that stuff, I never really knew that he kind of wanted to look up to me because I don't put myself in a high esteem to where people look up to me. I just do what I do, But Timmy had wanted to look up to me. He even started coaching football, and I wanted to show something here. You see this? This here is my trophy. And this is what they give you for coaching over at the Series Cowboys. Okay? See this? I got this in 2000. 2000. I was coaching a varsity team over there. See? Okay, now look. I want to show you something else. 2015. Ta-da! Check it out. 2015. Timmy Henley coaching the Series Junior Bulldogs. He wants to be just like his dad. Awesome. Awesome. I had to show that. I thought I'd have to show that. Awesome. So I wanted to clear that up. Okay? And I think I did a pretty good job of doing it. So the Discovery Drive, back to the Discovery Drive. There's a lot of information on there. And there's a lot of information on there that was not investigated. And there's a lot of information on there that was investigated. My daughter, Nicole, has been posting pictures of the cell phone that was inches away from Timmy's hand. The cell phone being apart like it is, there's no way the cell phone, you can drop this cell phone. I can drop this cell phone from a 10-foot building onto concrete and it won't come apart like it did on there. Go look at that picture. If you're not, I think Tommy's going to post it too. And that's a picture that was from the drone footage that Regan and her husband Bo, they blew it up to where you can see it, because I guess you can't see it from there. Thank you, Regan. Yeah, the trophies are awesome. I have a whole bunch of trophies that I still kept in the box. Timmy's Super Bowl trophies. One time he came over and he got a bunch of them and stuff, and but so back to what I was talking about. You have to be accountable, and if you're going to get behind the keyboard and you're going to sling out accusations about people, you better get the truth. My advice to you, Mr. Benzinger, stop hiding behind your keyboard and actually do some investigating yourself. Contact Adams and Broomfield County, see if they'll let you have the flash drive. I'm not giving it to you. Tommy's not going to give it to you. Oh, you're going to get some of it. We're going to give you some of it. I think Tommy's preparing something for you. But anyway, you know what? You're just a small newspaper, and so we really don't. We tried to give you your chance, and then you went and took it and made it out like Timmy was a drug addict, he was on drugs, and he was burglarizing houses, and he was charging after cops. In one of those statements, dude, that you got that from, there was a Hispanic guy that couldn't speak English, that they claimed they had to have an interpreter. Yeah, you're right, Regan. You're right. We don't need to be perfected on this. We've been digging on this. We know what happened. If you want to report some good news, report good news. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. You can go report on how Westminster's falling apart over there, how they have big, beautiful buildings, but yet don't have any body cams. That's another thing, Mr. Benzinger. They have no body cams. They don't want body cams. No. They don't even have dash cams. Isn't that odd? No dash cams, no body cams. So what's that tell you? You want to go visit there? Go right ahead. You go visit there, they may not, you may do something they don't like. They might just shoot you too. Just shoot you and say, oh yeah, you were charging after him, man, with your camera in your hand. But no, he had a knife. But he actually had his video camera in his hand. But he had a knife in both hands. And that's what that Hispanic guy in the Discovery Drive, I think it's him. A pizza cutter in one hand and a knife in the other hand. And then there was another guy that said that he thought he had a lead pipe or something in his hand. But yet, when he's laying there dead on the ground, all that's by him is his cell phone. Now, you go tell me Ray Lewis couldn't even do this. How would he go in shorts and T-shirt all alone, bust through whatever doors they say he bust through, deadbolts, and not have any cuts on the bottom of his feet or any abrasions on his shoulders, and still carry a knife in one hand and a cell phone in the other hand, and still manage to get down 2 flights of steps, probably about 15 feet of concrete and down the little hill, to get shot to death the whole time and end up in a parking lot. And the witnesses that we can't release their names and stuff because we don't, that's none of your business right now. But they're there. They're witnesses that have been overlooked, or even that the police, they own the narrative there. And I know you know that word. Yeah, they owned it there. They just worded to wherever they wanted to and did whatever they wanted to do with the story. So yeah, this here, anybody can go on that site. That's not the truth. Go read a bunch of them on there. Don't just read Timmy's. You probably found about 4 or 5 of them by now since that one's been out. But go on there and read a bunch of them, and you determine for yourself if you did the truth. So, The Sirius Courier and the Turlock Journal, garbage. Garbage. Got a garbage reporter that doesn't do his job. Why? Because he's for the police, and he's for the police, and he don't even know the police that he's for. Dave Young needs to be removed from office. Yeah, David Young, if you ever see this video, you need to get out of office, and you need to get back all the money that you've been paid. Same with you, Mark Swisher, whatever your name is. You're a liar, and you need to step down too. Get out of there. All of you guys. Dean Milano, you need to go. You need to go. You let a woman back you in a corner on the phone, and you're supposed to be trained. It's all on Facebook. I mean, it's all on YT. Go to Regan's page and dig it up. It's called Property Release or something like that. At the Westminster. And yeah, he's a professional, but yet Regan had him because he's lying. That was the reason why he got caught in his lie, and he couldn't get out of it. And he argued with her. I think it was 42 times she said, "State the policy. State the policy. State your policy." I think it was 42 times, maybe more. She had him so messed up that he just hung up. Okay, and he's the commander. And see, now when I was talking to him back before all this happened, right after this bogus thing came out, I was talking to him on the phone, and he made it sound like he was just in the property area, releasing the property. He's didn't know he was the commander, that he is actually over all the police. Because there's a chain of command. City manager. I probably get this wrong. City manager, chief of police, commander, down to squad captain, and that's another thing. See, now we're not talking about a rookie. We're not talking about rookie cops. We're talking about veteran police officers. Engelberg had been on 27 years, 28 years. He's been on the force, 28 years. Why is he down in a patrol car? Chris Hempelman, 20 years, I think. 20-year veteran, I believe he's 20-year veteran. So these guys have been in multiple encounters with people, but yet they choose their first defense. And Timmy's 30 feet away from them. Their first, no, that's not Abby barking. That's the people next door. They have a dog that barks all night long. And no, Abby's being good, Benson, Regan. Abby's being good. She's back there. She just ate. She's being good, girl. She's a good girl. She don't do that. She does bark, though. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to come back on here and kind of talk about tonight would be the discovery drive versus this here decision letter from the district attorney. Because the district attorney, he didn't even look at it. And maybe it's like Regan said in her post, in her YT thing tonight, maybe Tim Carlson might be looking for, who knows why he's gone for a month. Maybe he's looking for a job to where he can actually do his job. Because maybe they have just a thing over there. It's like, well, we're blow-up cases. We can't get body cams and we can't get dash cams because we're so messed up that we don't know how to police, and then we'll have to explain all this crap that we just covered up. And so maybe he's just hired on, and they're saying, well, if you want to get your pension, dude, you need to just follow suit with us, and don't worry about it. We'll give you a good Christmas bonus. Who knows? Maybe it's that. I don't know. But it's taxpayer money. It's your money. It's my money. And it's like I've always said, is these guys, they pay for us. Yes, that's our thing right there, Regan, is we want to push it. We want to push them getting the body cams and the dash cams. We want to push that in the name of Timmy Henley because nothing's going to bring Timmy Henley back. And there's justice. We might as well not even talk about justice because there's no justice that could be brought from it. There's none. You can't put a price on a human life. You just can't. And you can't put a price on my son's life. And you wouldn't want to try to put a price on my son's life in my face. You know, you might not like the outcome of that. But anyway, that's about all I have really to say tonight. Except for, I just was thinking about these two trophies, you know. That's Timmy's. I think they're pretty cool because I got this one like in 2000. It was just for, you know, they give the coaches awards at the end of the season. You know, they give these to the coaches at the end of the season and, you know, for helping out and stuff like that. In fact, the Series Bulldogs, the Series Junior Bulldogs, they even wanted Timmy to come back. But, you know, Timmy's busy. He really, you know, he's too young. He's 27 years old. He really didn't have time to really coach football. He just did it because, you know, Dad did it. And Timmy loves football. He loves it. Let's see. And Lanisa says that they just missed an opportunity to get a $500,000 grant. They could have used that for body cams. You know, they get money to do things. They pay their people ridiculous amounts of money. Tim Carson's been gone for a month. I think Regan was saying today, all that money that he's been gone, he sure didn't do, you know, he's not doing his job over there. He doesn't need no $180-something thousand a year to just sit in office and make public appearances. And if he's not going to do his job, maybe he needs to step down. But then you might get somebody else into this worse. 50-50 grant. Thank you for posting that, Lenisa.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
And, you know, but we need to take action. We need to take action. And right now we need to get this out there. So if you haven't already subscribed to Regan's page, I mean, her YT, which all you people are, which all you are, because that's where you came from. That's why you can't pay me. But also go to Justice for Timmy Henley. Justice for Timmy Henley. Tommy's running that over there. And we're going to fight this. And it's just starting. So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be very, very hard to swallow. 189,000. I was close. I was $2,000 off. Actually, what, 187, 180. Let's call it 190. Because, you know, he gets the perks and all that stuff. From May 31st to July 15th. Well, this guy had a pretty good vacation. And you and I pay for it. And he got his regular pay. I don't know. Maybe he had to go to some counseling. He might be had to go through he might have had to go through some counseling after what he did. What I'd like to know is how these guys can sleep at night. After you went and you've taken an innocent human life like you did. I can understand a little bit better if it was in the nighttime. It's at night and you can't see and you're a cop and you get called to this job. You get called to this job. What's a job to him? But you just get called to this scene. It's dark. You don't know what's going on. I can understand that. But to have met with Timmy earlier that morning and know the situation about him hallucinating, and you should just make your better judgment right then and there. So this guy got chased up here by some German Shepherd puppies. So something's not right about this. Yeah, he's saying he's okay. But every drunk man is going to tell you, I can drive. Yeah, I can drive. So he's been drinking. He's admitted to he's been drinking. So if you're a police officer, do you just give him the keys and say, "Okay, dude, I take your word for it. You're okay"? You know. So that's the thing. That is the thing. And so you guys stay tuned because we're going to be posting more and more. I've been very busy today, man. I took like a 2.5 hour nap. I woke up. I thought it was morning. I was scrambling around. I was like, "How am I dressed?" I thought, man, did I get up early and make coffee and lay back down? That's how tired I was. But our weather's been up and down, and with the week that I've had with working and the all this, you know, it's been a long week, and so I didn't have anything to do yesterday or today and tomorrow. So Monday I do have a job starting on Monday probably. I'll find out tomorrow for sure. But if not, I'll take that off too because when I get a chance to rest right now, I do. I'm not as young as I used to be. I'd like to be 27 again. But anyway, so hey, you guys have a beautiful Saturday night. I don't want to keep you because I know you're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here too, Regan. Hey, and Ed, I love you, buddy. We're gonna come there. We're gonna get some of them burritos, man. Street tacos. Love you guys. Okay, hey, you guys have a beautiful weekend and go worship Jesus tomorrow. No, we worship Jesus every day. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, talk soon.